In today's video, we're going to be talking about 9 random tips that will get you better results on your ads, and you don't have to do anything different. Now, I will say this will not be the deal breaker of like an ad campaign that's not working to all of a sudden working really well. Like, this will not take an ad campaign that's not working at all and make it work. It will just take an ad campaign that already has the proper offer and messaging and then amplify it to work even better. So if you feel like you just want some little tweaks to your ads, or if you're just getting started and want a little bit of direction, this is going to be a great video for you. So 9 different things. The first one is that you will get a boost in the Facebook and Instagram algorithm if you take your photo in nature. So the algorithm loves plants, it loves the sky, it loves the ocean, it loves anything with like natural lighting even too. If you are outside, this is always going to get you a slightly lower CPM, which is the cost to show your ad to 1,000 people. The second one is that the algorithm loves smiling people, and the reason why is because people are very likely to stop on a smiling picture. So you will likely do better, especially if you're in fashion. We'll stick with that example. If your model is smiling versus doing a serious face, unless that seriousness is really in line with your branding, then usually the smiling photo will do a lot better at getting people to stop. I'm not going to say that I don't run bare bones text ads, and in fact, I really do vouch for that with a lot of different businesses. And in my next video, I will be showing you how to run bare bones text ads for coaches. So the next one's Facebook ads for coaches. Make sure you're subscribed if that sounds good to you. But smiling people, if you are taking a picture of a person, this is usually going to work a lot better. The third one is do not use borders around your images or too high of design. It's mostly those Canva templates that I'm kind of referring to. It looks really good when you're editing it on desktop, but this is why I always recommend before you publish ads to look at them on your phone. It is a completely different experience, and I definitely recommend this with emails too. Don't just read the email on your desktop. Send the test message to yourself and read it on your phone and give yourself that experience, because it is just completely different. The amount of elements that your mind can take in before it just kind of is like, yeah, this is too much. I'm just skipping on. The borders, especially if it's a white border, will affect your performance in the algorithm. And this is just very common that a lot of people try to mess with this. You should keep your ad to, like, if it's a person in your ad, just the person and then maybe some text. And if that text can appear with like nothing behind it in the negative space of the image, the least amount of elements is usually going to do better. So that's the good news. Usually the simpler design is going to do better, which should make it easier for you to create ads. The fourth point is that if you're going to put text in your ad, that text should read from top to bottom, and then from top to bottom to the caption very cleanly, as if it's one paragraph. The human mind is always going to read top to bottom, left to right, and if it's like $250 prize value, social bamboo giveaway, and it's just, it doesn't read like a sentence, this is going to get people to quickly skip off your ad, and it's going to ruin the clarity of your ad. And whenever there's not clarity in your marketing, this is always going to affect you very negatively. The fifth point is going to be that the first sentence of your caption should just be, "Hey, target audience." And this is so great because this is the most impactful line in your entire caption, is that first line. And at this point of marketing, you just want to be super clear of who you are targeting. And there's 2 reasons for this. One is so that your target audience definitely stops on it. Actually, there's 3 reasons. The second one is so that people who aren't in your target audience quickly skip on from it, which tells Facebook and Instagram who your audience is not. So it's going to be able to find out who your target audience is a lot quicker, because people that you want are stopping on it and people that you don't want are instantly skipping it, because you start your ad with, "Hey, target audience," or "What's up, target audience," or something along the lines where you're just doing an audience call out, right? For me, it would say like, "Hey, entrepreneurs." If I see that, I'm like, what, right? You just addressed me. I got to at least read a little bit more. And the third reason is because this is largely how the Facebook ads algorithm works nowadays, is that it reads your caption and then it shows your your ad to people more based on your caption than in your targeting. So even if you do no targeting, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit here, a lot of times this works best, and then just like not doing any interest, not doing any lookalike audience, but then right at the beginning of your caption, you just say, hey entrepreneurs, or hey fitness lovers. This is going to be one of the best things that you can do for targeting, and also making sure that your target audience pretty much always reads the caption. The sixth thing you're going to want to do is, after you do that audience call out, just do a simple problem and solution caption. And a lot of times people don't do this because they are just trying to explain too much, or they're talking about these are the benefits of my product, but they haven't addressed the problem yet. And doing problem and solution selling is often the best way to quickly communicate why someone would want to buy from you. Let's say it's, hey entrepreneurs, struggling to run Facebook ads, book a call with me so that we can diagnose your problem and figure out exactly what is going on, rather than just saying, hey entrepreneurs, I have all this experience running ads, I would like to help you set up ads. It's better to start with, have you had trouble running profitable Facebook ads in the past, and then come in with the solution, because now it feels like you're actually trying to diagnose their problems and that you first relate to them before you just start pitching to them. Number 7 is to consider using bullet points in your caption. Sometimes this can be a little bit cleaner and a quicker way of presenting what you're talking about, especially if you're doing e-commerce products. I really like this. And you can even use emojis for your bullet points just to make it stand out a little bit more. Maybe you say who this is for and who this is not for, and then you could do check marks for the who this is for, and then you can do the X emojis for the who this is not for. Or you could just list your main product benefits like that. Again, I really like this for e-commerce because a lot of times it can really become like a run-on sentence when you're trying to explain things, but you can fit it a lot more concise into bullet points. And you do want to kind of process your ad through the lens of, is this the quickest way that I can deliver the full amount of information clearly? So that's kind of like a big sentence there. But if you can deliver the same amount of information while not losing any clarity in less words, you're always going to want to do so. The time to convey your message is going to be important here when it comes down to hyper optimizing your ads. Because if it takes on average someone 45 seconds to spend on your ad before they get the entire deal of why it would be a good idea to invest, versus you can write that same ad in a way that people can read it or look at the images. A lot of times it's about changing your images and putting more info in there, and they can now get the entire value in 15 seconds. That is going to catch a lot more people that are maybe a little bit quicker in the scroll, and they don't need to invest as much energy to figure out what you're doing and what you're selling. Number 8 is a super simple tip, but in your headline, which only displays on the Facebook feed, what you're going to want to do is just add a right arrow at the end of it, so it points right at the button. People always go to whatever an arrow is pointing at. And this is good because they can know, all right, I'm reading the caption, I'm looking at the image, I'm reading the headline, and then I'm going to the button. And it just directs them to that link. And I've tested this so many times of just running the exact same ads with or without the right arrow at the end of the headline. And it always gives you a bump of about a 1 to 2% on your click-through rate, just giving people this little bit of direction. So that is a very quick tip for you, and I use it every single time. Number 9 is going to be with your targeting, because a lot of people don't know how to do it in 2024. And this is going to be the system that really figures out the best way for you to do targeting in, I would consider, the quickest way possible. The thing is nowadays is that the open targeting concept that I talked about before, where you don't put in any interest, you don't put in any custom audiences, no lookalikes, you just leave it blank. You set your age, you set the region to which you want to advertise to, you set the male or female gender, and then you just leave it blank, and then you let Facebook do their thing. The reason why this works is because they're really going off of what the caption says, and also what your history of your content is on your page, who your followers are, and it's going to just know who to show it to based off of your caption mostly. The open targeting wins about 75% of the time. Now, because it doesn't always win and you want to get conclusive data if you are targeting the best possible way, what I'm going to tell you to do is a 3 ad set strategy whenever you are starting a new ad campaign. And the cool thing is once you do this once, you don't really have to keep doing this for all of your future ad campaigns. You can kind of just know with your particular market what works best. So I do one ad set where I do put in interests. So right now I'm running ads for an equestrian apparel company. So for her, I just put in equestrian, horseback riding, things like that, right? I'm just going to do the interest targeting. I'm going to put in things that are just the very broad general scope ones. I'm not going to necessarily be like horse racing, barrel racing, and rodeos and barns. I'm not going to do things like that. I'm just going to put in like the 1 to 3 interests that really just encompass the general market. That's going to be one of the ad sets. So it's an interest-based targeting. The second one is going to be the open targeting like I talked about. So you're not going to put in anything. And the third one would be a lookalike audience. So if you have a lookalike audience of people who have bought from you in the past, which just means that you have over 100 people in the target country that you are targeting. Hopefully you understand this. Otherwise, go back to my Understanding Facebook Ads Manager video. And you're going to do a lookalike of all purchasers. If you don't have enough purchasers, you're going to do a lookalike of all website visitors. And if you don't have enough people that have been to your website while you've had a pixel there, you're going to do a lookalike of Instagram engagers or Facebook engagers. You're going to do a lookalike audience that is going to be the most targeted version of a lookalike that you can. So now you have a lookalike, an interest, and open targeting. And between those 3, whichever one does the best, if open targeting wins, cool, you can just turn off lookalike and you can turn off the interest, and you can kind of just know that you don't ever have to do anything else. You can just always leave it open and you're good. If the interest targeting wins, then that is when you can start adding new interests and testing those out and knowing like, all right, it looks like the interest-based targeting in my particular market still does win over the open targeting. So let me keep playing around. And like in that horseback riding example, I do the horse racing one and I try out the barrel racing and all the other ones and dressage and try to figure out what might be that winning ad set interest. And then for lookalikes, then you can know, let me try out some of these other lookalikes that I just mentioned. But just between the 3, whichever one wins is going to be probably the best way to go in your market. And luckily, I would say about 75% of the time, open targeting wins. And probably in 2025, if you're catching this video then, open targeting will probably be winning more like 85% of the time as their algorithm improves even more. So just try that 3 ad set strategy. You don't have to do 10 different ad sets with one interest in each. That used to be the name of the game. But just between those 3 styles of ad sets, you're going to want to just test them all so you can make sure that you are doing the best one. That is what I've got for you. Again, subscribe if you are looking to master Facebook and Instagram ads in 2024. And if you could use some extra help, make sure to book a free call with me in the description below, because I have done with you ad services where I will teach you how to run ads for your business in particular to the point that you don't need me anymore. And that is the way I prefer to do it. I can also run your ads for a higher fee, of course, where I just do everything for you, but I prefer to teach you how to do it where you get to a point of graduating where you don't need me anymore. Because if my role is really to make you guys as much money as possible and to make sure that I'm always paying for my services, the best way I can do so is by teaching you how to run your ads yourself for your company in the way that it should be done. And now that I've worked with over 250 different businesses, I have seen every type of ad campaign and every different little strategy applied. So I have a very good insight as to what's working right now at all times. And I hope you take me up on that free call so I can at least give you some great ideas of what might work for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.